Howdy folks, Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here, taking a detailed look at the forecast as we head through the next couple of days, about 7 to 10 days. This is kind of how things are shaking out. Now right now there's nothing really happening on the radar. A satellite image has just a couple of clouds out there. They're high clouds, but not really much to talk about. As we head through the next couple of days, we are going to be cooling things down as we head through the overnight hours. I've already had a couple of questions about snow, and I thought I'd kind of break a couple of different things down about that and try to help you understand why snow's not really in the forecast, and hopefully give you the heads up as to how cold it's going to be. I think Wednesday morning it probably has the best bet to be around freezing for some folks. Now this is a look at the temperature at different levels of the atmosphere. You've got the surface down at the bottom. Let's see if I can't circle a couple of things on here for you guys. Yeah, you've got the surface down here at the bottom, then you're up at about 4,400 feet, about 10,000 feet, and then about 18,000 feet. And those are the different temperatures, the different levels of the atmosphere. Generally, as we head through the overnight hours, you don't get a lot of atmospheric mixing. You're able to radiate a lot of the heat away, which is why we're going to be a little bit cooler, but it's also why you're not going to be able to mix down these cooler temperatures because there's no mixing happening. So it's just going to be cold, and it's going to be dry. It's going to be dry because there's not going to be any clouds out there. That's also the reason that it's going to be so cool. By the time we get back into some clouds and some chances for rain, that's on Saturday when temperatures are going to be in the low 50s to right around 60 degrees, depending on where this thing kind of scoots through. Also notice that it's warmer above where we're at. I tend to think that in the daytime we do get vertical mixing, which is the mixing between these two layers, which means I think we're going to be a little bit warmer than just 52 degrees. Right now I've got our afternoon high at 60 on Saturday. The good news with it being 60, we don't have to worry about severe weather. The other good news with 60 is 60-degree rain isn't going to be a really cold rain. It'll just be kind of chilly, although we are looking at a fair amount of rain. Then things get a little more interestinger as we head into Monday. Here we are on Monday morning. Notice how cool it is aloft. The thing that you don't see on here is just how humid it's going to be aloft too. We don't have the humidity on here, but I think we're going to be chock full of moisture in this section of the atmosphere, which means that if anything falls, even from 18,000 feet, it's falling all the way through layers of the atmosphere that are below freezing, well below freezing, which means that if anything falls, it's going to be frozen. But once you get down to the surface, you're down at 40 degrees. So stuff is going to most likely melt before it does. However, if you get a heavy enough drizzle on Monday morning from some of the leftover rain that's in the area, you may get lucky enough, again, to kind of see a little ice crystal here or there. A lot like last time, only a few folks saw anything. That's what this time is going to be like too. And the last time, I don't know that anybody actually saw any of these little ice crystals. It was all very light drizzle that actually came down. It was a different setup, but ended up kind of being a similar situation where it was cold enough above us. It just wasn't cold enough where we were. And so this is how things kind of break down as we head through the next couple of days on our 500 millibar geopotential height map. It's one of my favorite maps to show. Here we are on Tuesday. And we start watching this trough over here. We're in kind of a zonal flow, which during the week, this week means there's not really going to be much happening until that trough gets here. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not really much to speak of. This thing finally digs itself out and starts to eject our direction as we head through Thursday and into Friday. The GFS model here kind of has it flatten out, and it kind of like jumps over and into our neck of the woods. Watch this, Friday, and just whoop right into Saturday. It kind of disappears and ends up in the Ohio River Valley, and then kind of hangs out and digs itself back out into Alabama, Florida as we head through Monday and into Tuesday of next week. That would probably increase the risk that we deal with some kind of weird precipitation setup around here where it'd be a very cold drizzle or maybe a couple little ice crystals. But this doesn't seem a very likely thing to happen. It just seems weird. In the mathematical atmospheric sense, that we would see an area of low pressure dig out here, just kind of hopscotch its way over Texas and Oklahoma, hang out in the Ohio River Valley, and then dig itself out and then eject that direction. It just seems weird. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen for sure. It just seems a little strange. Back in behind that, the next system digs itself out into California. That next system may be one that we have to worry about for severe weather as we head through the 13th, 14th, and 15th of December. That's the American model. The European model looks a little different, and it looks a little more believable, and it doesn't really have us dealing with much in the way of frozen precip. So here's that same trough. There it is. It's digging itself out into California. It doesn't hopscotch its way across Oklahoma and Texas. It just kind of drifts our direction and then lifts into the Ohio River Valley and then keeps going. It kind of pauses, but I mean, it doesn't go back south and then to the north. It just kind of keeps on moving. Then, instead of the next one back here giving us an opportunity for severe weather as it drifts this direction, it basically beelines itself off to the east and sets us up in a place where we would have another bout of some regular rain, maybe some thunderstorms, but I think the overall severe weather threat would be a little more limited in this kind of a situation than the other. Alright, so in terms of precip, as we head to the next couple of days, we'll go back to the American model, the GFS here, and I just want to highlight some things really quickly in terms of this rain chance, frozen whatever chance, and why it seems a little weird once you dig in a little deeper. Rain possible as early as Friday night. I don't think it starts until after 6, 7 o'clock at night, so I think your Friday is going to be dry. Here comes all the rain through here as we head through the day on Saturday. The freezing line is well up here. You can see some of the snow off to the north of that line. As we head through Sunday, that line gets pushed way off to the north. We've got some lingering rain across parts of Georgia and Alabama, and even parts of Mississippi as well. You can see maybe a little bit of pinkish action in here. That would be a frozen mixed bag precipitation, kind of freezing drizzle, maybe a little snow, maybe a little sleet, maybe a little rain in there. But it's well off to our north. I mean, that's up around Memphis at this point on Sunday night. It's as we head through the morning on Monday, you can see how that freezing line descends a little further off to the south, that there's still some lingering precip, and it even shows it maybe not quite as liquidy up around Jackson to the north of that. There's some lingering precip, and we're caught in this little boundary area, which is right around that freezing line, where there may be some carryover. Where you may end up with liquid drizzle that maybe, if it gets a little heavier, turns over to snow, or maybe some little frozen crystal-y things, and then back to rain. At this point, there's no math or anywhere in here that shows that it's going to be sticking snow, and in fact, the math, if you do it, it shows and I'm gonna write this out. I'm gonna turn the arrow. I'm gonna write this out. 1.68% chance. I'll even put a little percent thing here. Percent chance that we see any kind of frozen precipitation. So the chance isn't that great, and it's out of here by the afternoon, and by the afternoon we're back to around 55, 60 degrees. So the chances that we get any frozen precip as we head through the next couple of days are very, 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 very low. I suppose they're not zero. But there is going to be this kind of weird overlapping thing, so you're probably going to see some stuff as we head through the next couple of days that shows frozen precip or snow or whatever happening across the area, and as you can see, that's not impossible, it's just very improbable. We'll keep on top of this as we head through the next couple of days. Don't worry, we're not going to turn a blind eye to this, but just know that if you see some stuff floating around, probably not going to happen, and if you want to make sure that it's not going to happen, just keep on watching the forecast. Of course, we'll have updates on every newscast. In fact, speaking of that, I'll see you guys on the news coming up tonight.